Well, there is no way we don't talk about that one, right? So, it turns out there is a brand new Riot MMO leak that happened. And let's be honest, from the first moment, this one is just weird. Because it is strangely very specific. It also fits exactly what we've been talking about in the last few videos. But the most scary part is that it also gives us the new release date. But there is more than one twist behind this. You see, as always, when it comes to all of these massive news, it came out of Skin Spotlights. And here, let's be real, I think it confirms that Skin Spotlight is not a real human being. I am convinced that he is some kind of a machine, because who would even notice a new game category on YouTube? He has to spend his days going through the YouTube API or something. But yes, Skin Spotlights noticed that when you stream on YouTube or when you make new videos, of course you can always tag your videos with a specific game if it is under the category of gaming. But now there is a new game category that popped up. A category named the Untitled Runeterra MMO. And unless that category goes away, you will likely see it in the description of this video too. I mean, if it exists, we may as well use it. But if you are not really sure what these categories are even for and what's really happening with them, you may just think, well, can't just anyone make a game category? Because what if you make your own game, shouldn't you also have one? Well, it turns out, no. You can't just make a category. It is YouTube that makes these. Which makes this entire situation a little bit more interesting. Mainly because not only does this category specifically have an entire new description, but also it states that the release of the Runeterra MMO would be 2028? Well, that's suspicious. So let's dive into this. You see, there is a really good reason why the 2028 release date would fit. Which is also the same reason why people are kind of freaking out about this. In our previous video where we talked about the Riot MMO, we talked about how the team just recruited Holinka, a very well-known veteran MMO developer who accidentally revealed that the MMO is going through some internal testing. And the reason why this is important is because of the average dev cycle. Technically, it would mean that the Riot MMO should come out way sooner, before 2030. And so instead, as we mentioned in the previous video, the 2028 would be more likely. And so is it a coincidence that the category now points to the exact same year? Well, maybe there is something to this. Or maybe not. It turns out this system is quite complex. The truth is that if you want to make a new category for a new video game, you simply can't. Somehow it is YouTube's algorithm that actually scans for games on the internet and it puts them into separate categories. And as far as we know, all of that should be an entirely automated system. Which begs the question, well, what if there is a company that is secretly working on a game and they just wanna secure a category before it comes out? Shouldn't they be able to do something like this regardless? And unfortunately, well, we don't really see into this. Because unless you also have a company that is working on a video game, you probably can't confirm what's really happening behind the scenes. But the assumption would be that bigger companies would be able to go inside YouTube and ask for nice things. But that reminds me, I do have a video game myself. And coincidentally, I actually researched this topic before, because I myself need my own game to actually have a game category on YouTube. With my game of course being Funa's The Climb, which is a rage game-like adventure full of decisions and consequences. With an entirely custom world, no asset flipping to be seen here, an entire mythos behind it. And yes, you too can wishlist it on Steam right now. I mean, we already passed 16,000 wishlists. Anyway, coincidentally, because I am getting closer to releasing my own game, I actually know about these categories. And so let me give you the context. So, as I mentioned, the reality is that you can't just brute force a category. But you can affect the category after a certain chain of events happens. First of all, unless a big company does some special voodoo behind the scenes, YouTube actually makes these categories based on two things. Either their algorithm scans Steam and it picks up all of those games and it turns them into separate categories, or it actually scans Wikipedia and it turns the articles into categories. And from that point on, once a game category was made, the system actually detects who is the owner or the creator of the game, and once those people actually message YouTube, YouTube can then change the thumbnail or change the description. And as far as we know, those emails should be handled by a human. And how do I know all of this? Well, here is the game category for Funus, The Climb, which is of course my game. It is a category that I didn't submit anywhere and it just happened by pure magic. And the description reveals something interesting. Travel across a fantasy world full of story choices, consequences, and platforming. A lot of platforming. Discover the unique combination of challenging jumps and story progression as you alter the course of a universe. A game by Necrit. This channel was generated automatically by YouTube's video discovery system. So as you can see, it even mentions that YouTube automatically generated this, with the description being a copy-paste of the description on Steam. It wasn't actually AI that rewrote this. Now, what is really important is that in my case, there is no year of release anywhere to be seen. At least not in the YouTube category. Which, by the way, unless something goes wrong, there is a really good chance I should be able to pump out my game in 2 months. I say as I find yet more bugs. So please, wishlist it. But of course, this isn't really the case with the Runeterra MMO. Here, they get a release year. So how did this one get so precise? Well, again, the description kinda spoils what's really happening. And it actually gets really funny really fast. The untitled Runeterra MMO is upcoming MMORPG developed by Riot Games and set in Runeterra, the fictional world of League of Legends. The game will be part of Riot's new unified Runeterra canon, alongside Arcane and Legends of Runeterra. So this first part looks fine, but it kinda feels AI generated. Like the sentences kinda work, but not entirely. And it says that this game will be part of this specific world. Meanwhile, Riot is afraid to say the word will in the same sentence as MMO. But then it continues with the funny part. Riot Games announced the project on December 17th, 2020. At the time, development was led by executive producer Greg Street. Little is known about the game's features, although it reportedly has persistent sandbox world, innovative gameplay concepts, and action RPG elements. Greg Street also stated that a pay-to-play or subscription model would be unlikely, citing Riot's typical business model of creating free-to-play games supported by cosmetic microtransactions. So the funny thing is that in the majority of these descriptions there is Greg Street mentioned, with Greg of course being Ghostcrawler, the developer that parted ways from Riot because they didn't exactly see on the game's direction, and after all of that happened, the entire MMO went through the big reset. So literally anything that Ghostcrawler mentioned about the Riot MMO could totally be different now. Which is why the description doesn't really check out. It especially doesn't check out with something that Riot would say themselves. And so then it continues. In early 2024, Riot Games co-founder and chief product officer Mark Merrill announced that the project's direction had been partially reset, after the team concluded that earlier version was too similar. After which the description cuts off. So, how was it supposed to continue? Well, it was supposed to continue too similar to existing MMORPGs. How do we know that? Well, YouTube just copy-pasted the description from the wiki page of the untitled Riot MMO. But the description on the main page was too long, so YouTube just cut it. And again, it all ends with the line, "This channel was generated automatically with YouTube's video discovery system." So yes, there is a very good chance Riot didn't actually do this. It was YouTube's algorithm that did this. And it is funny that it managed to copy things that Riot would really not want you to know about the MMO, especially since all of these things might be totally wrong. Because after the many years, there is a really good chance the MMO is just different now. Which is where we are about to make a full circle. Because now, after the category was made, Riot can email YouTube and they can change the thumbnail and they can change the description, which is something I would do quickly if I was Riot, because right now it is kinda spreading misinformation. And so if we see a change to this category within the next few weeks, that's why it happened. But interestingly enough, this still didn't answer the question, Why is the release date 2028? Well, if you go below the description, you can see links from YouTube to all the things that actually happened here. For example, YouTube links to the AI that gathered this information. Then it also links to the legal stuff so that they can use this description. I'm not sure how well that actually covers them. But then it also sources the wiki page as the source of this information. And the wiki page says that there is the expected release date of 2028 to 2029. Which means it literally just took this data from that page. And again, Riot didn't do any of this, but now they have to clean it up. Although, funnily enough, if you go to the homepage of the game category, what is really cool is that again, YouTube already detected Riot Games as the developer of the game, and so they link all of their other games below it. But if you scroll even further, it will start showing you videos that are related to this topic. And here, all we can see for now is one video that is a reaction to my video, which kinda makes the algorithm impressive, because it was able to figure out that I was actually talking about this specific game, which is still unreleased or unannounced. But why does it not show any of the original videos? I would like to know. Hello, if you'd like to actually support this channel, consider actually wishlisting my game. The link to the wishlisting should be somewhere below this video. Now, I need to mention, I really need to update the Steam page, because the game now already looks way better. And yes, it is true that after 4 years of working on this game from scratch, I should be able to pump it out in about 2 months from now. Meaning that I will be an official game developer, and my word might mean a little bit more than it used to, because I might be knowledgeable about what I'm talking about. So thank you.